Hi, I'm Donia, like Doc said. I'm a senior here, and like Doc said, I'll be talking about engendering compassion and human connection and our responsibility towards one another. In the global economics class I took this past summer, I started to notice a pattern. I noticed that what seemed to be the solution to many of the current issues around the world would be education, something that seems quite accessible, but I guess isn't. Aside from the unfortunate lack of primary education in many parts of the world, what I find to be more unfortunate is some of our decisions to not educate ourselves, such as going through high school only for a good grade rather than growth and forming relationships. I feel like if we take some sort of sincere interest in the people around us and those who are not yet in our lives, we can really develop a sense of empathy, understanding, and compassion for them rather than immediately classifying them as someone we might not relate to or we might disagree with. We can understand their motives and their backgrounds. There are many ways we can learn about others. One is through conversation with friends, teachers, strangers, and one is through our traditional education system. Our capacity for empathy isn't limited to what we learn in our history classes, but also psychology has the power to show us the nature and nurture aspects of why someone believes in what they believe in. There's also vocal performance in foreign languages, such as vocal jazz in foreign languages. Those can help us understand a main communication point in certain cultures that we would otherwise be cutting ourselves off from. Also, English and athletics help us understand our own nature and the nature of people around us. While our traditional system of education has the power to create well-rounded people who are motivated to contribute their best to the bettering of humanity, it can also kind of destroy a person. I'm witness to this. I witnessed one of my brothers thrive in the same learning environment that in a way caused my other brothers' social skills, confidence, and family relationships to deteriorate for some period of time. I've seen teachers tell one child he's gifted while another child struggles to communicate his ideas in the way the teacher is demanding. And then they immediately experience a drop in their self-esteem. Although I believe challenging oneself is very important, I'm also a firm believer in freedom of expression. Too often, children are discouraged from expressing their ideas out of fear of judgment of what their teachers or peers have to say. This not only represses a child's intellectual curiosity and confidence, but it also represses our own knowledge bank. We're cutting ourselves off from what that child might have to say, and we might not be able to think of that on our own. At the same time, many of the most perspective-changing and eye-opening discussions I've had have been with teachers. Teachers have an incredible amount of influence on their students, as you all know. This concept can be brought into human connection in general. We each have an incredible amount of influence on each other. We each have the potential to build each other up or knock each other down, and it is our responsibility to build each other up. The great Persian poet Sa'di said, "When the calamity of time affects one limb, the other limbs cannot remain at rest. If you have no sympathy for the troubles of others, you are unworthy to be called by the name of a human." I believe it is our first and foremost human duty to embody compassion, tolerance, and understanding for all other human beings. With every action we make, we must think of our impact on others. I don't think there is ever a moment where being vicious or inconsiderate is necessary or even acceptable. There is always room for learning and understanding, and critical or mean behavior only leads to more critical or mean behavior. In that same way, compassion has the ability to consume you and influence others to embody it as well. If you've ever received a compliment, which I'm sure you all have, you know that immediate feeling of joy that's associated with it. Now think of how many people's days you can make with a simple, kind, genuine comment, and how many of those people will be inspired to continue and expand on the web of compassion you just significantly contributed to. It's a domino effect and a truly nourishing way of life. Imagine if we all prioritized compassion and prioritized each other. Not only will we all be taken care of, because for every one person in the world there are 7.125 billion others, but we would also all feel loved and be loved. Thank you.